you all for coming. I'm Ryan Gatton, and I'm the person that's sending out all those emails, so sorry if I'm overloading any of you. We're very excited to tell you about WISE, which stands for Woodbury Integrated Student Experience. And the goal of this program is to engage students in opportunities that integrate knowledge and experience. And so I'm actually going to hand over the floor to Dr. Bridgewater, who is the ePortfolio Coordinator and Assistant Professor in Writing.
Great. Well, thank you everyone for being here today, here in the room. Also, those that are viewing us digitally on YouTube and at the San Diego campus. As Rita said, I'm Professor Matt Bridgewater, and I am Professor of Writing ePortfolio Coordinator here at Woodbury. And today I'm here to going to talk to you about the WISE experience that we have here, as well as how to participate in that as a student, and the process of doing all of that. So first of all, what is WISE? WISE stands for Woodbury Integrated Student Experience. It involves 5 different components: civic engagement, study away, internship work experience, undergraduate research, and leadership. And so some of these have been a long tradition here at Woodbury for quite a long time. Civic engagement has been a very important component being a student here at Woodbury. Civic engagement is going out into the community, taking what you are doing in the classroom, what you're learning from the textbook, and applying it to real-world situations with nonprofits, other types of organizations, and community partners. Internship work experience has also been a profound component of being a student here at Woodbury. Every student here in their junior or senior year has to participate in an internship or equivalent work experience. This gives you a lot of real-world experience so that you're prepared when you graduate the university to participate in the field that you are studying in. We also have study away. And study away is, we use the term study away, not study abroad, because we do have some experiences here at Woodbury that we do within the confines of the United States. So there's experiences in New York City, Washington, D.C., Yosemite National Park, for example. But of course, there's also an abroad component. For example, we have a Rome Institute as well that a lot of our students have studied abroad at. And then we also have undergraduate research and leadership, and these are in the process of being developed right now, but we also have students that are participating in these. Undergraduate research is really defined largely in terms of what is research in your profession. And so that can be something a little bit more clinical, like if you're a psychology student, you might be doing undergraduate research with a professor in terms of studying autism in middle schoolers. You might be working with a professor to help understand social media practices and marketing strategies if you are in the business school. You also might be doing other types of research practices, such as creating a film or animation project, a fashion exhibit, a creative piece of some sorts. And so research is really defined broadly here, depending on your discipline that you're in. And also you have leadership. And so you'll hear more about a specific example later in the talk here with leadership, but leadership is about taking principles of leadership and applying them to situations that you find yourself in as a student here at Woodbury. For example, being in charge of a student government group or another type of student group here on campus. We have over 30 programs here on campus for that. So why participate in this? Why kind of go out of your way to do it? Well, for one, a couple of these, like civic engagement and internship work experience, you might just find yourself in already, given the course that you're taking, for example, or if you're enrolled in an internship. Others you might find yourself in through different ways as well, such as being involved in a student group on campus. You're closely working with a professor in one way or another. And so you might actually just find yourself in these already. But the main important point here is that these experiences, they compound, impact, and reinforce what you're doing in the classroom and promoting that into different arenas outside the classroom or in different experiences. So it magnifies your learning experiences and the connections that you're making already in the classroom. So there's a lot of growth personal growth and learning that you can do through these experiences. There's also a financial incentive. This is a scholarship, and so you can earn up to $2,000 by participating in these experiences. So it's $1,000 per experience, and you can do up to two. And this is applied. This isn't a check that the university cuts to you. It is a reimbursement, a scholarship reimbursement for that's applied to your next semester's tuition. Lastly, in a couple of different ways. For one, you get to tell people that you participated in this scholarship experience at Woodbury, and that you can put that directly on your resume. It also gives you, for example, experience that you can put under your work experience. So it's not just an internship, but it's you're doing this other experience as well. You're participating in these civic engagement projects. So it allows you to be a little more marketable when you're going on to the job market. So when do you become eligible for this type of experience? Well, you got to earn about 60 units, and 30 of those must be earned here at Woodbury University. So you can be a transfer student as well. You don't have to be a true freshman in this situation, so you can transfer in a lot of these credits as well. This started basically in the fall of 2015, and so you have to have been a student currently in the university since the fall of 2015. A GPA of 2.75 or higher in full-time status. And how do you get involved in this? We can enroll or participate in WISE designated opportunities. So we have a lot of courses that, starting in the course catalog, you'll be able to enroll in those specific courses. For example, for civic engagement, a lot of our courses now have a CE designation right there in the course catalog, so you'll know you're registering for a course with civic engagement. Your professor, if they're teaching a course that has a civic engagement component, there should also be something in the syllabus notifying you of the possibility to engage in a civic engagement WISE experience in that course. So you might be able to enroll strictly through being in that course itself. Internship work experience, you enroll and register for internship work experience, so you can just enroll that way. But you also have to fill out an application to that. It's not simply as, well, I was in the course, now how do I get the scholarship money? So we have applications here printed out that are available for us, and they're also going to be available online as well, so that you can pick them up maybe at your office, right, or not.
I also emailed them to everyone,
Mm-hmm.
but you can also come pick them up from me too.
Yeah. So there's a formal application process that you go through. It's really brief, though. It's not a long thing. It's really like a yes/no kind of checklist type of thing, and then you turn that in, and then from that point forward, we can work with you to get your scholarship money in that situation. An important and critical part of this is to reflect and document your experience through our e-portfolio system here. So, typically you can write a reflection, you can do something like that, but the e-portfolio system allows you to turn your experience into essentially a mini web page, which then you can show, for example, prospective employers or people that you're going to be interning with about your experience here. You can link it to your resume at the top. People might look for that and try to find what you did there. And so it allows you to take video, pictures, as well as to write up your own reflection there. This part I just kind of went over briefly already, but once again, to remind everyone about maybe these more important points, it's up to $2,000, and that's basically a result of, it's $1,000 per experience. You can do up to two. You can do them during the same semester. You can do them in consecutive semesters. The one caveat is, because it's applied to your next semester's tuition, you can't do it in your final semester here at Woodbury. So you don't want to wait till your final semester to participate in this. And in total, there can be up to $2,000 in tuition reimbursement. So it's really up to you and how much you want to push yourself to participate in these experiences. But we've had a couple of students do them already, and I'll get to their examples, which I'd like to share. They did a wonderful job, and we really enjoyed working with them. And that could be you in another semester. So how do I apply? So as I said, it's not just as simple as enrolling in the course. There's an application, and that's sent via email. It's also up here for those that are here today in class. You can take a print copy with you. And you'll want to document and reflect your experience on our ePortfolio system. And you might be thinking, what is this? How do I access it? You already have an account, whether you know it or not. It's free, and it's indefinite. You don't have to. It won't go away in the future. So you have that account, and you can once you sit down with me, so I can log you in and things like that. It's kind of a WYSIWYG type of what you see is what you get, and you can manipulate the screen and upload your pictures and type in your text and create the web page as you see fit that best documents your experience with that. And so once you go through that process, you'll review it. You'll go over to make sure it's what you want to submit. You can talk to me or Rida about that once you're ready to submit it. Some faculty members will look at it, give you some feedback, and evaluate it, and you'll have your scholarship at that point. If the portfolio, if we feel the portfolio needs a little more reflection or a little bit more, some more evidence of what you've done with that experience, we'll just send it back to you and say, hey, can you improve it in these ways, and you resubmit it. So it's not as if it's a one-time stop, and if you don't get on that first shot, nothing happens. No, we want you to get that money. We want you to complete the process. So we're going to be working with you along the way to do that. You can also get help in our Writing Center with the Writing Center tutors. They know this system, so you can always just go to them and stop in. But I work directly with Scholastica and Natalie, the two students that you'll see here in a moment. So you can work directly with me too if you're also confused. So there shouldn't be any problem with any of that. Just really quickly, I'll show you Natalie and Scholastica's portfolio here. This is Natalie Nazarian. She is an accounting student here at Woodbury, and she did the leadership component of this. She is president of the Accounting Society here at Woodbury, and as she was president, she said, I'd like to become a better leader for the student group. And she met with one of our faculty members, Eric Schockman, who runs the leadership program here. And he sat down with her and he said, all right, well, let's engage you with this experience. Let's have you read they read some articles from, let's say, the Harvard Business Review, Bloomberg, some other magazines and journals about leadership. And she would read those, and they would meet once a week, and they would discuss, how she can apply some of those principles about leadership and creativity and management, for example, and apply those to being a better leader for her student group here at Woodbury. And they did this over several weeks, and she would write. She had different types of articles that she read here. Here's one from the Harvard Business Review. She would read it, and then she would write a reflection on it. And so she went through this process with Eric to become a better leader for this group, and she put together a pretty successful portfolio here. Here she is reflecting on the meetings of the Accounting Society, including some pictures, as well, and other graphics and such. So she went through that experience, and she said it was a absolutely fantastic experience. She became a better leader for it, and she earned her scholarship. This is Scholastica. She did the internship component of WISE. She was an intern. She's a psychology major, and she interned with an organization that helps, if I remember correctly, it helps children with autism better communicate in school environments and other types of social environments. And so she went through this process being an intern, but she also said, I'm going to document this, I'm going to participate in the WISE experience, I'm going to reflect on this, and it had a greater impact on her experience with this internship. It wasn't just her internship she was doing. She was collecting a lot of evidence of her experience, photos, she was reflecting on it, and she put together her portfolio here. She introduces herself a little bit, and then she has here her internship, and she wrote up her reflection here. She talks about what she's doing with the students, the activities that they're participating in. She has a little slideshow here. things that she's doing with them. And you can see here she's doing a lot of reflection. And when she talks about her, when she talked about this experience, because she put together this portfolio, she's able to think about it in terms of, she's able to organize it and structure it in a way so that when she's talking about her experience, it just comes out as she's already a professional in the field. I mean, when you talk to her about it, it's not just, oh, I did this or that. She's using the vocabulary. She sounds professional when she's talking with it. Someone that you'd want to have in your grad program, perhaps, or hire directly into a job, being a counselor of sorts. So she did a wonderful job, really, with her portfolio as well. Just some final thoughts. This is for clarification. You're not competing with other students for this. It's not as if, for example, there's only 5 scholarships available and there's 15 people applying, right? So you apply, you're competing with yourself, in other words, to do the best you can with this experience, right? And you might be thinking, well, how am I judged by this? What's the rubric for all of this? And we have the rubrics online, and so you can take a look at that information as well, so you know what to do in that situation. Once again, the tuition is applied to the following semester's bill. So if you're doing it this semester, it would apply to your fall semester tuition. If you do it in the fall, it'll apply to your spring 2018 semester. So that's how the tuition is rolled out, your scholarship money. And we've gotten a little more formal with the leadership and undergraduate research components, with civic engagement, study away, and internship work experience. We've already done a lot of those type of components already and experiences with students. So with leadership and undergraduate, though, it actually allows you to maybe perhaps formulate your own project in a way that's really up to you. And so we are definitely willing to work with you on that if you want to engage in one of these 2 different components. So if you have any questions about it too, you can always talk to Rida about it, or myself. We can help you out with that. So how to get started. Confirm with your professor or perhaps your career and outreach coordinator if you're doing an internship or something like that, or with Rida, that your course or activity is WISE designated. If you don't think it might be, you can still talk to us about it, and we want to work with you to try to find a way that it can be perhaps considered WISE designated. Fill out the application and submit it by the appropriate deadline. Follow the digitation directions. They're embedded in the portfolio. You can talk with me about it. You can go to the Writing Center. There's plenty of ways to help you with that. Scholastica and Natalie, they both said that it was not time-consuming. It's not something that should be taking up weeks on end or anything like that. It's something you can put together with just a modest amount of time, but a good amount of effort. You want to create a reflection, which is embedded in the portfolio, that connects your projects and experiences to the learning outcomes of the WISE component. So we have, once again, you'll have that information. It's online, if it's not already emailed to you already. You can also contact me about submitting the portfolio at the end of the semester once you're completing your experience. Another quick point maybe to point out here is that if you're doing something right now, with civic engagement, with internship, with leadership or whatever, you can participate right now in that and complete it by the end of the semester, right? It's not as if you have to wait till the fall. We can get you going right now so that you can get started with this. All right, thank you. That's it. All right. Well, thank you all that attended here in person and also digitally through our YouTube channel, Woodbury YouTube channel. So, all right. Thank you very much, everyone.